Hello students, welcome to my class. Today we will talk about the drought part, especially we have already completed this earthquake, flood and all these areas. So today we will talk about the drought, why the drought is actually taking place. Now the drought is actually why it is taking place. We have to be very like a clear idea we will get. So whenever there is the scarcity of rainfall, when there is a scarcity of rainfall and where there is a shortage of water, very little or no water is available for drinking or for growing crops, then we remember that this particular area is going to become the drought and all. So it means you can easily find out that where there is a less rainfall, where there is a not at all rainfall we can say, and where there is a wind blowing regularly, then you can see that this area gradually will take place as a drought. So let us see here. Now drought actually affects humans, animals and also agriculture, and especially repeated droughts actually cause famine as well, because when there is no cultivation, when there is no rainfall, certainly most of the people, most of the animals, plants will not grow, people will not get food. When the plants will not grow, then people will have a problem in surviving. So therefore the famine is occurring, famine is taking place there. And here the famine is actually taking place due to the insufficient monsoon rains, excessive use of groundwater. Today, for example, most of our people, they draw the water for the home purpose, domestic purpose, or also for the plantation, or maybe also for the farming and all. So sometimes we see that a huge plantation is done. For example, tea garden, rubber garden, or something like that. You can see there are many different gardens, and a huge plot of lands are actually cultivated. And the water is actually draw from the ground, especially. So you remember regularly when a huge volume of water is drawn from the ground, certainly the level of water is going deep down, is it not? Because we know that how many centuries of this rainfall storing the water in this area. So regular drawing the water can finishing that water body. So therefore we need to really careful in using how much we can use the water for our crops and also for the domestic purpose. But sometimes we don't know how to make use of. Even today, for example, at home, when we are brushing, the tap is on, the water is continuously flowing, and it is just waste of the water, is it not? It is just going. So we don't take care when we are brushing, the water tap has to be off, the water taps should be off, so that the water can save. But we have not learned. And sometimes we go in the public places also, if it is a school or colleges and all, we just do carelessly opening the taps and just we allow the water to flow. So this way the world will not be in the better side. So therefore we have to be careful on that. So here because of this uncontrolled deforestation also is the region where this drought is taking place. Then also we have got destruction of topsoil leads also the droughts. So there are many regions through which the drought is taking place. Now in India, 70% of the cultivable land is actually drought prone area, because a huge area is actually used for the cultivation, and here if there is water, then only we can cultivate. And most of the time we are depending, especially in India and all, in some states and all, people are depending on the rainfall. When there is no rainfall, cultivation will be not taking place in some areas. I have noticed there are many of the regions without rainfall, they are not cultivating. People miss not saving water, people are not storing water. So if there is a river, I think they should do some sort of a dam making and all, and some sort of nowadays in the YouTube and all, different ways of collecting the water has been already suggested, advised. So people don't learn that. We are so depending on the rainfall, and we wait for that. By the time we don't get the crops. So okay, so you can see there are some of the states are facing this drought condition, especially Gujarat, Rajasthan, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, then Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. These are the states are actually under this drought condition we can see here. Okay, so now let us see how we can prevent this drought in this situation. So first of all, to prevent from the droughts or to keep away, we need to take some measures against it. Now, water should be used judiciously by everyone, especially the farmers. Second one, drip irrigation should be encouraged. Drip irrigation, okay, very important. Reservoirs should be built to store water. For example, we have seen dam construction and all. As the government is doing extremely good job when there is a dam is made, because through the dams, the electricity and at the same time the water is preserved, so that that water can be used for irrigation in some farming land and all. Then rainwater harvesting systems should be developed. That is, we have never seen much in our region. So most of us are totally depending on the small pond or the well or the hand pump. All these things we are using, but people are not taking care of that. So forest cover should be increased through plantation. It may say our forest is now day by day finishing almost the plants and trees and all. So the government is not that much giving focus on that. Most of the time we have seen they are making the budgets for the different items, but for saving the environment they are not taking that budgets. So and even though we have seen some places people are planting the trees, maybe the government is providing the plants, but then thing is that there are no more people to to grow these plants. Only planting is not sufficient, because you need to take care of it, so that caring people are not there. So they plant the trees and they just leave it, whether it is eating by the cows or goats or any other creatures, destroying, but nobody bothers about it. And when we are see that there is something is taking place in the nature, then we say, this is the nature. People are not people are not planting the trees, that's why it is happening. So how much we have taken initiative to plant the trees? Forget about the government. How much we have taken care of planting the plants around our home, is it not, around our field. So we don't take care by ourselves, we only say, okay, if somebody will do for us, that is we are waiting for, maybe. So like this attitude that we have got in this country. So therefore plantation is very much required, and because this plantation can resist certain amount of this situation to occur. So the government should provide assistance like the crop insurance scheme to farmers. So these are the few things you have to remember. Okay, these are all that is happening. Actually, that is part of the natural disasters. So we consider it natural disasters. Next, we have got here human-made disasters. Now, human-made disasters are very much different than the natural disaster. Now, for example, human-made disasters are actually very dangerous. A massive, people lives are actually getting damages, affected. So, and the property as well, we can see getting damaged. So, let us know the first of all the fire-related disasters. Now, we have seen that fire is getting break in the houses, in the industry, in the factory, in the schools, in the colleges and all. Sometimes it's taking place. So now all this one taking place maybe due to the faulty electrical wiring, gas leakages and all. Then there are also people are carelessly using the cigarette, smoking, and then they throw the leftover their cigarette butts and all, and then the fire is triggering in the forest sometimes. So these are the few things are there. So let us see how we can take a measure of this fire. So first of all, use fire extinguisher for fires caused by electrical short circuits and all, sometimes in the home. Then throw sand on fires caused by gas leakages and all. Then switch off electricity and all the electrical appliances. Then if a person's cloth catches fire, then roll the person over and over on the ground till the fire extinguishes. Okay. Then use stairs for vacating a building that is on fire. Then a fire alarm should be installed in the buildings, especially in big colleges, buildings and all. Regular checks of all electrical wire and appliances should be done so that you can be safe. Then gas pipelines that should be checked regularly so that we can be saved always. So these things are there in the in our system. So next we have got nuclear disasters. Now in my live class I have already talked to you that there are some of the image is indicating about the nuclear disaster or nuclear disaster zone. So look at the image and then you don't enter, don't make yourself put in the danger. So therefore you can see that a worst kind of human-made disasters is a nuclear disasters that we have seen. It is caused due to the use of nuclear weapons and accidents in nuclear reactors, and these disasters have actually short-term as well as long-term side effects. So very careful. And then long-term effects include genetic imbalance, that is we have seen, and the contamination of soil and water sources for long duration of time we can experience. Then bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan during the Second World War, that is in the year of 1945, was one of the worst nuclear weapon disasters that has taken place there. So it caused mass destruction of life and property, left thousands crippled, and even today, children are born with defects due to the effect of the nuclear radiation. So these things are actually taking place. So nuclear power plants use nuclear reactors for generating heat and which is converted into electricity. Then any damage or leak in these power plants can lead to massive disasters. So Japan was hit by an earthquake and tsunami in 2011, you remember. The earthquake caused damage to reactors in Fukushima, the Daiichi power plant, resulting in a release of radioactive materials into the atmosphere. So now how we can prevent ourselves when there is a nuclear disaster is taking place? First of all, in case of nuclear disaster is taking place, stay indoors as radioactive waves cannot penetrate through the walls. Second point we have to keep in mind that keep all windows and doors shut. Okay. Then listen to radio broadcast for further information. Then again, do not touch anything lying outside as it could be contaminated. Then the nuclear power plant should be constructed away from human settlements. So we should know, the government should know that any of the nuclear plants of the government is planning, then that has to be planted very far away from the village and cities and towns. Okay. So these are the few things we have to keep in mind. So in my next video I will talk about the chemical disasters and other parts. Okay. So thank you.